Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because I am finally packing and sharing what is in my hospital bag for baby number 3 and 4. So as you can see, I have everything laid out here in front of me. My hospital bag itself is still a little messy. I'm actually going to pack it up kind of as I chat through this video. And then I also have baby's bag. I will share what I'm bringing for the girls, for the babies as well. If you are new here, I am currently expecting twins and they should be arriving pretty much anytime in the next couple weeks. So I'm fully in nesting prep mode and want to make sure I have my hospital bag ready to go. I will try not to make this intro too chatty and drawn out. If you want to just skip to the list or skip to the items I'm sharing, I'll put the timestamp right here of where those start. As always, you can find everything in the description box down below as well too. I'll have links there for everything I'm sharing today. But a little bit of background I did want to share before I jump into what's actually in the bag is that this is my third time going into labor. I have only had vaginal deliveries, so in terms of C-section mamas, feel free to share in the comments anything that may be different for you. That way you could help a fellow mama out. I actually don't know if I'll be having a C-section this time or not. As of right now, I'm 34 weeks and the plan is to go for a vaginal delivery for these twins as well. But I could definitely end up in an emergency C-section or a planned C-section over the next couple weeks. I just don't know what the end of this pregnancy will bring. I will also say, like I said, this is my third time doing this. I have given birth twice before and both times were so incredibly different. My first labor was 27 hours long. It was very drawn out. I do have vlogs for both of those deliveries on my channel if you're curious to see. That one, there are so many things that I used and or wish I would have used to make my labor more comfortable, and that's kind of where I compile my lists from. My second delivery was the total opposite. It was so rushed, like flew onto the bed. It was a 15-minute, like very rushed and chaotic delivery, and I didn't get to use a single thing that I packed in my hospital bag. So the reason I share that is just because I am very well aware of the fact that every labor, every pregnancy, every woman, every delivery is different. What I'm sharing today, people get very up in arms about hospital bag videos, I've learned, whether it's here or on Instagram or TikTok, wherever. Just know, you may not use everything that I pack, and that's totally okay. I tend to come off as a bit of an overpacker, but I promise you every single thing in this bag has been thought of and potentially previously used by me in the past, so that's where it comes from. But like I said, every delivery is different. I am proof of that myself. So with all that being said, I will try and start by sharing the things that are, in my opinion, necessities, things that like I know for sure I will use, and then I'll move into the things that keep things a little more comfortable that are just my preference to bring, but I know other mothers who have brought them to the hospital as well too. And then I'll share what's in baby's bag too. I promise I will not make this too drawn out of a video, but I also want to make it like super encompassing and helpful because this one has been highly requested, and you only get to do this once during your pregnancy, and this will be my last time doing a what's in my hospital bag video. My third time doing one, but my last time, which is nuts. Okay, let's jump in. I've just been like throwing stuff over here over the last couple months, honestly, and now it's finally time to make it organized. So the first thing I'm gonna start by sharing that's in my hospital bag are a couple postpartum items. So I have shared numerous postpartum videos and content and tips and tricks on my channel. I have a whole video on postpartum care from last time. I'll link it up here. If I have a C-section this time, I will definitely share my experience more in depth there as well too. But first up in my hospital bag are some of these, for lack of a better phrase, depends. I love that now they call them postpartum underwear because when I had Christian 5 years ago, they did not refer to them as that. So it was like you were straight up buying Depends at the grocery store or Target or wherever. Always Discreet makes these, but they are just underwear with built-in pads. They are so much more comfortable and practical than the whole setup shebang that they give you at the hospital. That is obviously needed at first, but then I like to move into some of these because they're just more comfortable, especially for going home. They're just more practical. So I'm packing 4 pairs because I don't know, like I said, so much is up in the air with this labor for me. I don't know how long I'll be in the hospital. I don't know if they'll keep me longer because it's twins, or if I will need a C-section, or you just never know. So I'm packing 4 pairs. I think that will be good to get me home for sure. I'm also bringing this Frida Mom. This is formerly known as the mom washer. It's just an upside down Perry bottle. Another thing I will say is that every hospital is different. So some of the things you might hear me like refer to as my hospital giving to me or getting for free, that is also something that tends to really set people off. If I say it's for free, I mean I'm not handing over cash or a credit card in that moment to take the item home. We all know insurance costs a boatload. I pay for insurance myself, so I'm well aware of that. People love to be like, it's not for free, you're paying with your health insurance or you're paying with your taxes or whatever. I'm just saying I don't need cash to walk out of there with a Perry bottle, but I actually prefer to bring this one, which is an upside down Perry bottle, because it is so much more practical and comfortable to use. It squirts the water out this way, shooting up, instead of the Perry bottles at the hospital, which will point the water down or shoot it down, and it's just not as effective and a little more messy. So this thing I will bring in my hospital bag, and then I actually have multiple of them set up throughout the house for postpartum care as well. Sometimes I'm in such a rush at the hospital too, I just don't even care, but I want to have one on me just in case. Prenatal vitamins are something that I definitely want to keep in my hospital bag. Even if I'm only there for a day or two, this is something I take every single day, and it's also something that I want to make sure I'm continuing to take while breastfeeding my babies. So these are going in the hospital bag. Then I have a little like clear kit like this that holds sort of all of my little items that I know I may need or may reach for in labor. Some of the things in here that I'll share are my AirPods. I have learned that headphones are so much easier for after you deliver when you're making phone calls. When the baby is here, a bunch of people want to talk to you, your parents, your family members, whoever, and it's hard to hold a newborn while also talking on the phone. So I would definitely recommend bringing a pair of headphones. Wireless headphones are perfect for that, so that you can make phone calls and still be able to hold baby once they're here. I also have some nipple and lip rescue balm because those nips will be getting used. I have some hand lotion, a couple different lip balm. Chapstick is definitely something that comes in handy when you're in the hospital, whether it's used during labor or postpartum. Those lips will get dried out, so pack some chapstick. I also have a little lavender roll-on, just as like, I use that as sort of like a daily essential oil right now, kind of calm myself. These are some drops. These are called Rebalance Postpartum Hormonal Drops. These are great for putting in your water when you are postpartum, like freshly postpartum, because when you deliver a baby, your uterus will continue to contract after the baby is born. I talk about that in my postpartum video, but that is something that the first time I had a baby, that was not explained to me, and it was such a shock that especially breastfeeding will trigger your uterus to contract. And so at first it's a little painful because your uterus is going back down in size, you know, it like gets huge, then you deliver the baby and it needs to get back down to its normal size. These will help ease that pain when you are contracting after birth. You just put a couple drops in your water, you don't taste it at all, and I used these the second time around and really did feel like they helped. So I bought a new bottle and we'll be bringing them with me again this time. A handheld fan. This is one of those things that feels or sounds a little extra. However, if you saw my first labor video, you would see that there were definitely times where I was overheating, I was so hot, and I didn't have anything like this, and my husband, they handed him like the little toilet bowl blood catcher thing. I don't know the proper term for it, I'm sorry, but he was using that to fan me while I was in labor. Like, you just get so hot when it's really drawn out like that. So I grabbed a handheld fan. This one is really cheap on Amazon. It has a couple different settings, and whew, it feels so good on me even right now. So glad I'll have that this time. This is something that I would definitely say is a necessity. Like, make sure this is one of the items in your bag, and it's an extra long phone cord or phone charger. to be more specific. No matter what kind of labor you have, you're gonna be on your phone a lot in the hospital, most likely, if you're somebody who uses your phone a lot. Even once the baby's here, you just have a lot of time to kill when you're sitting in the bed, and you wanna be able to keep your phone charged, but also the outlet for your phone is likely going to be behind the bed, kind of far behind you, and your normal phone charger might not reach, so pack a very extra long cord. You'll be happy you did so. My first delivery, my phone was constantly dying, and then I packed like a backup charger and all this stuff. This time I'm just bringing a really extra long phone cord, that way I don't have to worry about it at all. I'm also adding hair ties to this little clear case of mine because, like I said, it gets hot. You just want to be able to pull stuff up. I'm probably going to add a little claw clip somewhere in this bag as well too, but those are kind of like my little essentials packed right there. I have a coming home outfit for myself packed. This is something that may or may not be an essential to you. It is obviously possible to just wear home whatever outfit you wear to the hospital when you are giving birth. For me, like I said, my second labor was so rushed and so crazy. My water actually broke on the way up to the room, and so the outfit I wore there was not in good shape. I would not want to wear that home. It just was messy and, you know. So I'm definitely packing a coming home outfit. And then I also have some comfortable like slide on shoes to come home in as well, because I don't want to be worried about bending over to get my shoes on after I give birth. I'll probably just set these out outside of my hospital bag and wear them to the hospital too, if it's not crazy chaotic, you know. Here we go. I already have a claw clip in here, so I will just put that on top of my little essentials bag. Along the same lines, a hairbrush. You don't want to forget a hairbrush in your hospital bag, so got that over here. Something else I'll add too is we live like 30 minutes away from the hospital I'll be delivering at, so that's another reason I like to bring just everything with me. There is no going back and quickly grabbing things I forget or things I wish I had. We also have 2 kids already at home, so you know, it's kind of like what I have with me is likely what I will be using throughout the entirety of my stay. So that's another reason I like to just be super prepared. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I also have a little pack of toiletries in here. These are just like super basic toiletries in case I want to take a quick shower. With my first, I did take a quick shower at the hospital. With my second, I did not because we were only there for 24 hours. But I just have like a loofah, a travel size shower gel, face wash, toothbrush, toothpaste. I recommend going out and getting yourself a travel size toothbrush and toothpaste. That way it can already be packed and it's in your bag and you don't have to worry about grabbing your own while you're in labor trying to head to the hospital. I just want everything all in one place. So I just have this little bag of like shower essentials. I may or may not end up using it while we're there. Then something that I feel like is essential for me, or that I have used both times at least, are some sort of nursing nightgown. Now, the hospital obviously has hospital gowns for delivery and for postpartum. Again, take that with a grain of salt. My hospitals always have. Check with your hospital for anything that you're curious about, what they give you or what they have or what they provide for you or your baby. Just ask and they'll tell you beforehand. For me, I don't like the way hospital gowns feel, at least postpartum. It's just like a lot of fabric. They can be itchy and kind of icky feeling. So I like to bring some sort of nursing friendly like nightgown. That way I'm a little more comfortable after I give birth. It's just one more inch towards humanity after something like that. Kindred Bravely has some great ones. I actually wore this exact one in black after I had Arlo, but I don't have it anymore. So I got this pretty mauve color for this time. It's super easy to have like a nursing friendly clasp down top like this, and then the bottom, keeping it open and flowy, is convenient for when they come in to check you after you deliver. Some pajamas or something like that would work as well too, but for me they always need to check like my lower half, so I just leave it open and easy and breezy. That way it's easy for them to check and it's easy for me to nurse too. So I'm bringing a couple of these because again, I don't know how long my stay is. I'm thinking 2 is probably going to be good. This is another like variation of that. I wore this one last time too, but these long sleeve nightgowns, you can find them at Target or on Amazon. These are great for that because they're button up, so they're still nursing friendly, but they're much more comfortable when you're in the bed after you've given birth too. I also have a robe I got for that purpose too. Just something to feel a little bit more covered up and a little bit more at home when you're in the hospital room. Again, this is just a personal preference, something I like, but something I have found myself using while I've been in the hospital before. And same goes for slippers. Now, last time I did a what's in my hospital bag video, granted, it was like at the beginning of, I had my last baby in March 2020, but the slippers set so many people off and I was not expecting that. Personally, I love to bring slippers to the hospital. My hospital does give socks for me to wear in the bed, but I wear slippers all the time at home. I've got them on right now, so I like to bring them in my bag. Again, to feel a little bit more like myself after I give birth. What I do like to do though is get a cheap pair, like $10 or less. That way, if they get icky at the hospital or if I just feel kind of gross bringing them home, it's not a big deal if I toss them. They're like my specific hospital slippers, not my good ones. Like the ones I have on right now are Uggs that I've had for years. I'll be leaving those at home, but these like cheapy Target ones will be good for keeping me comfortable there. That's just my method. That's what I do, and I've never regretted bringing them. Along the same lines though, I also do bring some fuzzy socks. Like I said, the hospital will give me those socks, surgical sock style. Those work as well too. I know I wore those a little bit last time I was there, but I also like to have just something a little bit fuzzy and extra comfy. Sometimes those hospital rooms are so cold too, so that's another reason why it can be nice to just have all of these like layers. I've seen people bringing blankets and pillows and stuff like that to the hospital as well. That could be a good option if you're somebody who wants to stay really comfy that way. I never like just dragging all of that stuff there, so I'm not going to be bringing a blanket or anything this time, but some fuzzy socks, some slippers, I'm good with that. Along the same lines, something different I'll be bringing this time is actually a delivery gown. This is definitely not a necessity, but it's something that I just hadn't thought of to bring before, or I hadn't seen one that would look actually comfortable. You know, sometimes they make customized or like different style delivery gowns, but they don't actually look more comfortable than what they have at the hospital. This one I found by Kindred Bravely this time, and it was on sale when they were having a major sale, so I got it for like 20 bucks or something. So I thought, why not? I will bring it. It is this super flowy, like stretchy material, and if I'm in a long labor the way I was my first time, I would definitely prefer something like this over the gowns they have at the hospital. For one thing, it's like a tank top style, so it'll be a little bit more breathable. It's still buttoned down the front, so it's nursing friendly. The straps of the tank top also snap open, and then it has buttons down the back as well if you want to get an epidural. It has pockets. It's just like, I think it'll be much more comfortable. Again, this is not something I know for sure I will use. It's very, very likely that my labor could be so fast that I don't use it, but if I have a long labor, especially with twins, I don't know what I'm in for. So if I have a long labor, I feel like this could just make it a little bit more comfortable for me. I got a couple little Prosecco rosés just in case we wanna pop a quick little cheers to a twin delivery. A successful twin delivery, I think, warrants that. I'm also bringing some nursing bras to wear either in the hospital or on my way home. I'm only bringing 2, mainly because they come in a 2-pack, but these are the sleep bras from Auden at Target. I've worn these every time I've delivered as well because they are nice and comfortable, but then you can pull them open really easily. So these are great for checks in the hospital, or if you're speaking with a lactation consultant, or, you know, if you just want to be a little bit more covered up, but you still want to be able to easily access the goods to get examined after delivery, these bras are awesome for that. And then they're great for sleeping once you're home too. Speaking of lactation consultants, one thing I haven't brought in the past, but I will be bringing this time, is a hands-free breast pump. This one is pretty affordable, and it's not a brand I hear talked about often, but I will link it down below. I've never had an issue with like my supply or with nursing in the hospital. However, at my sister-in-law's recent delivery, she had her pump with her and used it to kind of get her milk going because that's what her baby needed in the moment. So I just feel like it's one of those things to have on hand just in case. And I want it to be a hands-free one, so it's really easy to use and, like, you know, don't have to be all hooked up. Our hospitals also do have pumps there that we can use, but for me, I would prefer the comfort of just something like this. So this one's really easy to pack, doesn't take up a lot of space, so I'll be bringing this one just in case. Another thing I'm bringing just in case, I don't know if I'll be fully ready to use it, but is this binder. Now, whether I have a C-section or not, especially after having twins, I've heard from previous twin or current, I guess, twin parents, that your insides are just like so much more stretched out, even more so because you have 2 babies in there. This is by Frida Mom, and it's just an abdominal support binder. So I feel like this could be something that's helpful for me to feel comfortable and supported as I head home, especially if I have a C-section, but even if I deliver vaginally after carrying 2, I've heard that these can be really helpful. So I have this packed in my hospital bag as well. Like I said, we'll see if I feel up for wearing it on the way home. After I had my first, my stomach did not want, like I did not want anything pushing on me, but this is a whole different ball game with this bump, I will tell you that. I also have makeup packed. That's just something I like to bring. Definitely not an essential, but if you are somebody like me who likes to just like freshen up a little bit, that's something I like to bring. So I have some makeup remover wipes for washing my face quickly and just like freshening up while I'm there. And then I also have a little pack of makeup. I like this one. This is the Essentials To Go case from Base, and I like it because it comes with a mirror built in and it has 2 sides, so I can put like travel size makeup on this side and put a couple brushes on this side with the mirror, and it's really easy to pack. Both times I have gone home from the hospital, I've liked to put a little bit of makeup on before heading home, just because we take pictures, we usually have family here, and then I just feel a little bit more like myself leaving the hospital too. So that's just something I like to bring. And then I have a big old water bottle. This thing is definitely not a necessity because it, like I said, again, at least in the US, at least here, the hospitals I've been to, they do give you a water bottle that is a similar like shape. It's actually very well known amongst moms who have delivered and who have gotten that water bottle with delivery because you end up using it at home too. For me, I am all about like my Stanleys. I am totally that person. I always have something like this on hand. This one is by Simple Modern, and I've actually fallen in love with theirs more so than Stanley recently because they don't leak as much. But this one by Simple Modern, it holds 50 ounces of water, which is insane, like 50 ounces. So the reason I'm bringing it is because it will require a lot less refills while I'm in the hospital. I don't want to have to wait for a nurse or my husband or somebody to be able to go refill it for me. I just like to have as much water on hand as possible. So when I saw this one and it was actually in stock, I just like jumped on it. And similar to the shoes, I will probably just keep it out on top of my hospital bag. That way I can fill it up before we go to the hospital. And then I'll have it for labor and for postpartum. But yeah, 50 ounces, like that's way less refills. To me, that's worth bringing it along. Okay, 2 more items in my hospital bag that are probably gonna seem a little extra, so I saved them for last. But this is a satin sleep set by Kish Beauty. This, I'm not gonna lie, I just happened to have extra at home. Like I found this in my nightstand and I was like, that looks like it'd be good for the hospital. I have though heard of people who use like satin eye covers or just some sort of eye cover while they're in the hospital because there are always so many lights and people checking in and alarms and things like that. It can be difficult to sleep, especially if you send your baby to the nursery or you do something like that. It also has like a satin pillowcase, which again, I've never used in the hospital, but I do know people who have brought their own pillowcases, and it also has a scrunchie. This was just something I had extra, but the eye mask I feel like could be helpful. And then these are really cute. This is a matching robe and swaddle set from the company Newborn Nest, which I'll talk more about them in a second when I show you what's in the baby's bag. It has this striped robe for mom and then matching swaddles and bows for the babies. So I'm packing those in case we wear those in the hospital for pictures or anything like that. If not, we'll probably wear them when we get home, but I just thought might as well bring those too. That took way longer to explain all that than I thought it would. But I swear to you, I really feel like I'm just bringing the things I know I'll be comfortable with, so I don't know. Okay, so next up, I'm gonna move into the baby stuff. I'm bringing a lot less for them, don't worry. So I will be able to get through that stuff quickly. One thing I'm bringing is the Snuggle Me feeding pillow. In the past, I've brought the Boppy. I don't have that anymore, and I got this one for these babies. I also do have the Twin Z, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I have the Twin Z nursing pillow for twins. That I have at home, but that thing is huge. I don't feel like lugging that to the hospital. So I'm gonna wait to use that until we're home. This one I thought would just be a good backup to have at home, but also is a little easier to carry to the hospital. Either way, a nursing pillow is something that I have used both times in the hospital. It's really come in handy, especially when you are kind of like figuring out the logistics or the feel of breastfeeding, especially the first time. It was super helpful. This is something I know I'll use this time, and it's really easy to just keep it in the carrying case and grab it as you are heading out the door. For babies, for the baby stuff, I keep them in a separate little duffel bag. I got so many questions on this duffel bag. I had it in a different color last time, and I got so many questions. It's from Fawn Design. I will have it linked down below. This time I got it in this pretty like amazing neutral tan set. As you can see, that's kind of my vibe, but it has the like trolley pass through on the back. So I pack all of my hospital stuff in a travel, I should have said this in the very beginning, but I pack all of my hospital stuff in a travel size like carry-on suitcase. That way you can just wheel it through the hospital. And then I put the baby's duffel bag on top of that. So it keeps it nice and organized and is really easy for dad or whoever to carry upstairs for me. In the baby's bag, the biggest thing I'm bringing for them is just a couple coming home outfits. Especially with the twins. I am having 2 babies coming home. I don't know what size they're gonna be. They could either be a newborn size or they could be in preemie size. So I have a couple different sleepers for them packed, just so I have options for them. I'm not doing anything crazy for coming home outfits because I know we're just going to come home and sit around. Same for myself. I packed just loungewear for myself. And for the babies, I have just like some little sleeper sets. I actually got them some customized sleeper sets with their names on them, but I'm not gonna show those right now. I will show those when we are bringing them home. But yeah, some sleepers for coming home is what I have for them. I also have their baby books packed. I showed these in a vlog, but I want to bring their baby books to get their feet like stamped inside. I've done that with both of my previous deliveries, and it's just such a sweet special moment, and then they're like stamped right there in the book. So I have 2 baby books for 2 babies. I have a little thing, a little travel size carrier with little passies in it. This is another thing that our hospitals provide us. They always have little pacifiers, but what I've noticed in the last time I was there is that sometimes the ones at the hospitals are just a little bit big for them. I like these ones because they have kind of like the heart design at the top. So I feel like, especially with my babies being so tiny, I feel like when they're born, it will just like give them a little bit more room to breathe. I might not use it, but the last time when I was visiting my sister-in-law, she pulled hers out and I was like, okay, that's a good thing to have for the babies. So I'll link those, and then I'll link this little carrier too, because once we're back from the hospital, this is going to just be strapped to my diaper bag and be carried with me that way. I also have some pacifier wipes in case I drop one and can't get a hold of a nurse and need to wash it and just like wipe it down. I have some pacifier wipes. These are those swaddles that match the robe I talked about. But another thing I have packed here for the babies are these newborn nest sets. So I had these with Arlo when I delivered him, and it is like basically a set for the newborn's little hospital bed. So you get like a little sheet, you get a swaddle, you can customize the sets, you can pick your prints, you can pick the items that you would like in them. I actually worked with the owner to pick prints for our girls, and I'm so excited to see how they come out for them. So I will be sure to share those on Instagram and share pictures and keep it as part of their announcements. But I love that company. Like I said, I used them last time and I definitely wanted to have them this time as well too. It's just something that makes it a little bit cute and memorable that way. I also have 2 of these little booties in here for coming home. If they have sleepers with footies on them, I don't know why I would need these, but they're in the bag, so thought I'd show them. And then along the same lines, something I did this time that is just like so extra, totally not necessary, but I thought I would show it because it's something I did. But I got these little newborn hats, which are like the same kind of hats they give you in the hospital, but they have these little bows on them, which are so cute. So I got 2 of those just for our little twin baby girls. This is something that can be really helpful. So I have nail files packed. I didn't realize until I saw my niece born recently how long babies' nails can be when they're born. That never happened with either of my kids, but her nails came out so long and she had hangnails that she was born with. So I added this pack of like just baby nail files to the bag just in case something like that happens. That way I have them on hand ready to go. And then I also have this little "We're Here" sticker that I can use for announcing their birth. And then I also have a couple little wooden, this is not a sticker, it's like a little wooden plaque thing, I don't know. But I also have a couple of these that I got customized with the girls' names on them, and I'll be using those to announce their birth as well too. So anything like name-wise or customizing, that's something that you could pack for baby, but I will wait until they're here to show you guys those. And that's all I have for the babies. So like I said, our hospitals do give like diapers and wipes sent home, and then they have swaddle blankets and t-shirts and stuff like that. They are also always examining the babies, so I don't really bring a lot of clothes for ours because we would just need to take them out of it to get them examined and checked out while we were there. But a couple coming home outfits and a couple swaddles or blankets for the car seat for the way home. That's really all that we need or all that we've used in the past. I know it looked like a lot in here, but I promise I'm not bringing a ton for the babes. I'm mostly bringing stuff for me. Whew. All right. I know that video was way longer than I thought it would be. I hope this was helpful and gave you some ideas though. Let me know any questions you have. Again, my C-section mamas, leave comments down below and let us know anything that you found really helpful. I will definitely take that into consideration as well, since I very well may need a C-section. We don't know. We'll see. And I will keep you guys updated. I think these babies will be here in a couple weeks, so we'll see, and I cannot wait to introduce them to you. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you join my YouTube family, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.